Hello, everyone, again. Obviously, I didn't expect to do this video, but this is another aspect of this download that keeps coming through. And I've also heard that a lot of other channelers and a lot of you who are empathic, intuitive, psychic are all picking up on the same information. So this is kind of like you could consider part two to the last whiteboard video that I did. I'm trying to find the best way to go about explaining this, but I will start off by telling you that this download came through actually when I was building the shed, the little mini shed that I put on my patio. And the way that this download came through was I was, screwing in bolts and stuff to the one door, to the left side of the door. And then when I was screwing in all the bolts and things to the right side of the door, I'm like, hey, this is wrong. Like, the instructions are wrong because I just did all of this, but I did it flipped, right? And so the message that came through is, yeah, of course, you did it one way and you think, based on your experience, based on your reality, that that is the right way because that's all you've ever experienced. And then you go to the other side of this dualistic, binary, polarized reality and you get confused. Wait a second, but I just did all of this and I thought that that was the right way because I just did it and experienced it, but now I'm being forced to do it the other way, the opposite way, the exact opposite way. And now everything that I thought that I knew is wrong, right? So it really pulls us into questioning when we are shown one side. We believe that that side is the truth. And then we move into the other polarity, the other side, the other, dualistic aspect of this polarized reality. And we get confused, right? But I thought I did it the right way. And now there's a different way of doing it. So I'm going to try and explain this, and let's call it the stages of awakening duality into unity. And this is just what I find that I go through in my own life as a human being in regard to the stages of awakening. And hopefully you guys resonate with this. Once again, this is kind of a follow-up between the 3D, 5D, and a lot of the content that I've been putting out there and producing recently has really all been about dualism, polarity, how to rise above it. Once again, we're going to talk about the stages of awakening through, moving through duality into unity. And of course, we've got little tater tot, and it's just roaming around and flapping and drinking and doing all her things, And my art, that's my piece. Creeping with the third eye, that's my new piece. I'm still working on it. And then that's my friend Zach and his piece, and then some of my other art. You're creeping into my house now. All right. So let's move into this. So the first stage that we're all kind of in is we're in it, right? We're in this game. We're in the matrix. We are in fully dualism. When we're in it, the funny thing is that we don't even know that we're in it when we're in it, right? So you're just kind of like in your own little bubble of reality. Life is just happening to you. It's chaotic, it's scary, you're out of control, you're in it, you don't even have time to think about what it is. You don't even know because you don't have time to think about what it is. You don't know, maybe you don't care, but that's kind of like in my book, that's the blissful ignorance stage, is when you're in it, you don't know you're in it, and you're happy, which is fine. We've all been there. Clearly you're not there right now because you're here. And you wouldn't be here if you were still in it and you didn't know what it was. All right. So moving on, the second stage of moving from duality into unity is you're aware of half of it. So all of a sudden, you start questioning, things aren't adding up, maybe your life starts to really suck, or maybe it always sucked and you're finally waking up to the fact, holy shit, my relationship isn't serving me, my job isn't great, I don't feel satisfied, I feel depressed, what's going on? You start to question your reality, therefore you start to step into your reality with a critical eye. Maybe you step back from your reality for a second so that you start to become aware of it. But really, truly, and I know a lot of you, awakening isn't necessarily always linear. So you may or may not have gone through this in a linear fashion. But for me, I experienced this very linearly, and a lot of my clients have too. The first half that we tend to be aware of when we start to become aware of it is usually the dark half. Usually it's like the darkness, it's the chaos, it's the conspiracy theories, it's the aliens, it's the, oh my God, what's happening? You're starting to become aware of it. Oh my goodness, life isn't just as simple as make the money and watch Netflix and chill, There's more to it than that. But usually, once again, it's the darkness, it's the dark side that you become aware of. And for sake of ease, let's just say that within this reality, within this duality of reality, we have light and we have dark. We have light, which would be everything, and darkness, which would be nothingness, right? Technically, they're two sides of the same coin, and that's what some of my content has been about recently as well. You go from being in it, just blissfully happy and aware and disempowered, but you're chilling, to being aware of half of it. You think at this point, because I did too, that this is it, this is everything. Once you become aware of half of it, of like, holy, this reality is corrupt, and there's different beings and they're in control, and you're still disempowered. You're bringing part of your blissful ignorance into this awareness, and it's fear-based. It's a lot. It's fear-based. You're aware of it. You think that this is it, Some people get stuck in this stage. I don't blame anyone for getting stuck there. I remember that when I was in it, like you guys probably know, back, around 16, teenager, so depressed, so unhappy, so restless, so anxious, so all of it. I didn't want to be in it. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that I didn't want it. And then when I started to wake up and be aware, it actually pivoted me and catapulted me to the next stage quite quickly, for me anyway, because when I stepped into conspiracy, I was like all about, fuck the man and like, screw corruption and fight against the system and all of that. I was aware of that half. I thought that half was the everything, and I was so against it. I was like, we got to take down the system. We got to take down this half, right, of the system. And part of me quite quickly started to actually question this part of the awakening. Okay, so I'm aware of it. I thought I was aware of all of it. But this can't be it, right? Like I was so caught up in all of the corruption, all of the everything that is, a part of this reality. And yet it still led me to say, this can't be it. My soul was longing for something more in this stage, as my soul was longing for something more when I was just blissfully ignorant in this reality, right? So very quickly, I got myself out of this stage. I remember a friend in university being so stuck. He went from being in it to being aware of all of the corruption and the government stuff, and he got depressed in this stage. I don't know if he ever got out of it. He was there for at least 4 years, for the time that I was in university. This stage catapulted me to this stage. Boom, all of a sudden you understand one half, and maybe you understand the light half first. Maybe, the stage coming out of your blissful ignorance, maybe the half that you were aware of was actually the light and the love and the good alien beings and consciousness and spiritual weight. That's great. It's light and it's bubbly and it's rainbows and it's butterflies and it's amazing. Good for you. That's fantastic. It's so chaotic because there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on when you're aware of half of it versus not being aware of any of it in the first place. You're going from simple to half of all that is. It's a lot. It's a big jump. Either way, whether you experience the darkness first or the light first, you will eventually be pivoted to the next half of the awareness of it, of all that is. And the other half, like I said, if you started with darkness and chaos, you're going to move into light. Like I started with darkness and chaos and conspiracy and cloning and reptilians and all of that shit. That was a lot. And then I'm like, okay, but what more is there? There's got to be more than just this. There's got to be more than just darkness. And that pivoted me into, wow, there's something more, which is light, right? I mean, let's just say that this stage is light and this is what it looks like, but you get the point. But this is the other half of it, of all that is. Now, some of the problems that I have found throughout these two different stages is, if this stage for you, coming out of blissful ignorance, is the light, if you just go from blissfully ignorant to all that is, like the light, that one half of this binary reality, which is the light half, I'm telling you right now, it is really difficult to move yourself and pivot from the light into the darkness. Either way, doesn't matter if you experience the light first or the dark first or whatever, you're going to have to go through both. Doesn't matter. But this is where the confusion is, right? Between both of these stages. It's tough to go from a high vibrational frequency of light and love and oneness into the fucking bottom of the barrel, the epitome of darkness, right? And understanding the corruption and the chaos within that corruption. It's so tough. And a lot of people, spiritual teachers or what have you, get stuck in this all light and all love and that's it. And this is beautiful. And I get it. And that's fine. Right? But eventually you're going to have to experience this darkness. Do you want to master your reality or do you want to get stuck in one half of it, of all that is, So yeah, okay. So this is the toughest part right here. But I thought this was it. I thought this was the truth. And now I'm seeing this entire other side. And then what happens is we start bouncing back and forth between the one half and the other half, and the one half and the other half, the low vibration, the high vibration, low vibration, high vibration. And we're just bouncing back and forth. But once you take a step back from both and you can appreciate the light and the love just as much. Now this is the kicker. Appreciating the light and the love. Easy, all right? This is great. It feels good. Here I am. But if you can appreciate the darkness within you, within society, within this reality, just as much as the light and the love, that's when you liberate yourself from being in either. You're not stuck anymore. Then you can move on to the next stage, which is you're aware of both. And what that means is you have to navigate. There's a lot of fucking navigation, as you guys should know by this point. There's a lot of navigation within being aware of both. Where am I? Is this good or bad? And like I've been saying in all my videos recently, there is no good or bad. We absolutely need both the dark and the light. They're both beautiful. They're both grand. They're both so needed and so important. When you're holding resistance over the darkness, or you're confused about what is light and what is dark and what is right and what is wrong, you get yourself stuck in the loop, back and forth, back and forth. When you're like, oh shit, I create my own reality. Therefore, I choose what is light. I choose what is dark based on my perception. And if one day you think that drinking coffee is the light and it's a good thing and it's helping you and supporting you, great. And the next day you think that coffee is evil and dark and it makes you all jittery and weird, right? That's up to you. You get to choose that. When you're in it, when you're in either side of it, you don't understand that you get to choose it. You get to choose what side you want to be in. That's what this stage is all about. You're aware of both. You're in the fucking middle of the dualism. You're in the middle. This is kind of when you're in that 0 point, when you're in that neutrality, right? You're in the middle of both. Both are still happening on a daily basis. You still do get a little bit of that loop and that feedback, but you're aware of both. You can remove yourself from either side of the coin. The confusion, the this, the that. And this is really like when you start to become empowered. I'm going to draw a little muscle on this Humalian. You know, this is when you really start to understand your own power and the mastery that you have when you neutralize the resistance to the dark and the attachment to the light. Neutralize the resistance to the dark within yourself and within the collective, and neutralize the attachment that you have to that unconditional love and that light within yourself and within the collective. Neutralize. Get to this stage. You're still going to be pushed and pulled, but you're starting to really step into that awareness. The last stage of the awakening, moving from duality into unity, whatever you want to call it, okay, is you're out of it. You're free. You are a free agent. You can do whatever you want. If you want to like astral travel out of your body, do it, you know. If you want to be in the dark, do it. Because that's challenge, that's movement, that's awareness. This whole download came through a challenge that I had, putting that shed together, getting frustrated that I just did this. Why do I have to do this again? Okay? I'm so grateful for that. All of the content recently has come through the challenges of trolls and haters and people trying to take me down or throw me off. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I hope that it keeps happening because I learn so much every time. I put that darkness on my path for a reason. I put that polarity. It's not even darkness because that implies something evil or even low vibrational. It just is what it is. It's just 1/2 of this dualistic reality, right? I love the love. It's easy to do that. But to love the darkness, I mean, that's when you get here. And moving beyond that, right? You're aware of both, but you're still in both. This is when you get liberated. This is like true awakening. You know, this is when you step out of the matrix. When you're like, yeah, I'm going to be neutral in this moment. Yeah, I'm going to be light in this moment. Yeah, I'm going to be dark. Yeah, I'm going to get pissed off. Let's do it. That's when you get to play with it. You're not in it. You're not experiencing it. Once again, you're not the player. You're not the character. You are the programmer in this moment. This right here, when you're in it and you're blissfully aware, you're the player. No, you're the character. I always get them confused. You're the character. You're just playing the character. I am playing the character of Elizabeth April. That's who I am. Right? When you're here, you're starting to become the player of the character. All right, well, which mode do I want to be? Which character do I want to be, the good guy or do I want to be the bad guy, you know, in this moment, right? And this is when you start to realize that, holy shit, I'm just playing a character. I'm just playing a character. And I am the programmer. I can do anything I want. I don't have to be one or the other because external factors are no longer influencing my present moment. So where are you right now? Where are you in all of this? I definitely wouldn't say that you're in it. Once again, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't even be understanding what I'm saying. This would be absolute gibberish to you if you were still in it. So I doubt that you're there. I still get here, you know. I'm still here. I am not this person. I'm not this little being. One day for sure. And maybe I'll just quantum leap and say, I am this stage, which is cool too. But, you know, we still play in this. The rest of the world is in this. Yeah, you know what? The rest of the world is coming from this. So you're probably not in it. Are you aware of half of it? Do you feel stuck in one half or the other, light or dark? Are you getting triggered? Are you reactionary? Are you pulled? Are you kind of neutral? You're aware of both, but you don't really know how to move forward from there. You're just kind of a little bit stuck and you're just navigating. You're just, every moment is the awareness of the shadow side and the light side within you, right? There's a lot of information coming through here. Or are you here? Like, do you fully feel liberated? Like I said, I don't feel fully liberated. I got a long way to go. But I'm appreciating the journey. And I'm always coming back to neutralizing the darkness, the reaction, the triggering. And I'm always back to neutralize the attachment that I may create and have to that light, because it feels good to be there. But this reality isn't always about being there. The journey is moving from duality into unity. But the way that you do it, the path that you take, and what you choose to focus on is completely up to you. I will see you all out of the matrix.